Hey dumplings, this is David Side. Today I want to talk about V's privacy being leaked, or talked about being leaked. I also want to get into people saying Nayeon was with V at his dinner. I also wanted to get into someone clapping back at BTS haters. So hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Alright, dumplings, he's spelling merch, and let's get into it. The first thing that we need to talk about is the song Left and Right. Left and Right has been doing very well. It's definitely a big deal for a well-known mainstream American artist to collab with a well-known K-pop artist. This definitely broke records, la-di-da, we know this. Left and Right has been breaking its own records and doing very well on the charts. And this is not surprising, but definitely interesting to see, because the fandom was so against the collaboration to begin with. I wasn't entirely sure if there would be support from the community, but it looks like there was. A lot of it probably had to do with the fact that the song is actually really good. I also have another theory as to why. Typically, this isn't referencing BTS, but a lot of K-pop groups will have a huge spike in support during the release, but then the support tends to fizzle out. American artists tend to have a decent support in the beginning of a release, and then they typically maintain that success as they find new listeners, either through paid ads or mainstream TV and radio play. A lot of American songs would not get their time in the sun until much later, when the label decides, this is actually a good song, let's put some money into it. Charlie, since the beginning of the collab, might have known that the BTS fandom was looking for something to critique Charlie with. Either something that Charlie might do that would seem culturally insensitive, or say something, or even slightly look at Jungkook in a way that could be interpreted as wrong. I can only imagine the sheer anxiety that Charlie probably had before releasing this song or any of the promo videos. People nowadays tend to get very mad on behalf of other people without realizing that the particular person that everyone is fighting for isn't even fighting or mad. Jungkook was more than happy to do the collab regardless of the hate and stuff. I really want to emphasize that people from all different fandoms are often tired of the obsessive behavior like this. I recall a little while ago, Jay Park and Jungkook were in the studio together, and people were really upset. Jay Park is a bit more controversial, but it was rumored that the two would be working on something together, and people were mad, saying the collab should stop. And funny enough, nothing has come out yet. Either nothing was recorded, or the idea that maybe Jay Park could be scared to release it, because simply the idea of the two collabing got Jay Park's past all dug up. And this isn't a good thing for Jungkook either. Any opportunity that Jungkook has to work with another artist is a potentially good one. Gives Jungkook more promotion, and every label has a unique way of promoting their artists. So this could potentially give Jungkook free press. But the way the fandom sometimes fights, it could potentially end these relationships. Please don't do that for the boys. You want them to have all these opportunities, right? Now, because of this, there has been a lot of frustration with Charlie Puth fans coming together and supporting the song. They also don't want to support Jungkook because they don't want to be wrapped up in the fandom, or admit that someone from BTS fandom is correct about anything. Someone replied to Charlie to say that the song Left and Right was carried completely by Charlie, implying that Jungkook was not the one who made the song work. I like that Charlie tends to respond or see what is online, and he even responded to this comment. He replied saying, "Team effort." And that was his way of saying, I appreciate Jungkook and his efforts, and also letting people know that he does not take entire credit for the song. A lot of the artists that BTS have worked with in the past have done that before, where they just take the entire credit. This obviously got on ARMY's good side, and I didn't see any hate comments on this. If you've ever written anything bad about a celebrity or public figure that did not deserve it, you should probably apologize. You should delete those comments and posts, because at a certain point when you even Google Charlie Puth, it was associated with using BTS for clout. It's beautiful to see Charlie clap back at some hate comments and give his thoughts. I think ARMYs will warm up to him and people will forgive, even though he did nothing wrong. Charlie's reply ended up going viral, and Jungkook was brought up and talked about. Of course, at this point, all the other members are also referenced too. There was a small scare when it was found that someone had attempted or just said that they had V's home address and were selling it. There were some accounts saying that you could just DM them and they'll give it to you. There will obviously be no way to verify if it's real address other than showing up and seeing if it was. And of course, you should never do that. I don't know if anyone had the address or not, but it's weird to think that they might. BTS's phone number has been leaked before, and the members have a problem with them getting stalker calls. So if you can get a phone number, which is not listed anywhere, you can probably get an address which is publicly displayed. Like if you go to a random house down your block, you can look at the number or look at Google Maps and get their full address. Stalkers can easily stalk V or any BTS member and just see what building they go into. Any stalker that also works with BTS, like at BTS's electric company or water company, they would obviously have the member's personal info. So there is no way to avoid this, unlike a phone number. However, this idea that if BTS's information was leaked, you would benefit from that is not true, because this because you would be able to do nothing with it. Likely the luxury apartment complexes that these members have bought and live in are staffed with doorman and people who know the faces of everyone that lives in the building. Meaning if you walk in, you can't actually get into the elevator and walk up to the door. Even if you have a package, the doorman would simply take it from you and you would never actually get in the building. What is more of a fear is maybe stalkers waiting outside the building. But BTS doesn't usually leave their area unless they have somewhere to go, or accompanied by a company van and a driver. And they go from building to the car and they're perfectly safe. I'm not saying I'm happy about a potential address leak. I'm just saying V or BTS would be totally fine if it was true. Obviously, best scenario, no one has the address. Thankfully, I did not see any personal information appear on Twitter or anything like that. BTS already makes things so public about their life, they really don't hide much. And for people to think that they are hiding a lot is very weird to me. They already live stream like every big event and record all their moments on reality TV shows that they do. The only thing that we probably don't know about is when they go to the bathroom. By the way, if you want to react to these public and consented BTS reality TV moments of their day-to-day life, you can join me on Patreon. Tons of reactions over there, and I will link my Patreon in the description. There was a live stream that BTS posted on their YouTube channel. BTS was having a bit of a party and celebration, and it was really cute. The entire set was just a room and it looked very homey. But some people were speculating about this and saying that it was quite strange. Keep in mind, this live stream was back in August of 2020. So in Korea, the dates read year and month. So as it says 2008, that means year 20 and 8th month. So this was not a recent stream, but the theory was that it was posted in September, the 22nd to be exact. And people were saying that the 22nd of September is Nayeon from Twice's birthday, and that was BTS or Big Hit's way of showing support to Twice by posting a cute dinner video, showing what appears to be a celebration. But likely BTS was celebrating their 90th #1 or something. And it just happened to be a coincidence that the stream was reposted on Nayeon's birthday. It was also talked about that Taehyung was on his phone a lot and that Taehyung was trying to wish Nayeon a happy birthday. But that makes no sense because the actual stream didn't happen in September. Taehyung wouldn't wish Nayeon a happy birthday in August. But people think that Nayeon was there or on the receiving end. And there is this idea that if you're on your phone a lot, you're dating. But I've been on dates with people who could not get off their phone. So being on your phone, there's plenty of reasons to be on your phone. I don't think Taehyung was texting Nayeon during the dinner or that Nayeon was there or whatever people think. Do I think Nayeon and Taehyung like each other as friends or colleagues? Yeah, absolutely. They've had some real interactions before. There was a performance which had a bunch of balloons behind Taehyung and Nayeon reminded him to throw a dart and pop it and that it was simply just her looking out. I think all the girls are so sweet and kind, and I think BTS and Twice, they don't see each other as competition but like to look out for each other. It's not like either of these artists don't have money, and when you're secure in your position in life, there's no competition. I don't believe you need to compete with someone who is doing the same thing. We can all be here, and I see a lot of jealous people fighting each other online, and it's not worth it. Spend that time working on your stuff and get better. But what do you think? Do you think Taehyung was texting Nayeon, or was she at the dinner? What do you think of Taehyung's address possibly being leaked, and what do you think of Charlie Puth clapping back at hate comments? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.